Good day, Tragic here, and I'd just like to show you the improved clone from URLs mod that I've done. I've just updated it. I've got a hugely positive response for this mod, which really surprised me. So now it works with every single custom object in the game, and it can also handle multiple URLs, as in, well, I'll show you. So basically, it works exactly the same. You paste your URLs into here, right? And this is URL list 1. So anything in this one will go into image 1 slot, or it'll go into the diffuse slot on custom objects. So if I go to components and I bring out, say, the tile, there's top image and bottom image, and for other things. So this one here will do the top image, or it'll do the diffuse value in a custom model. This one over here, if it has anything written in, so if it says type here, that means it's empty, okay? So if you put something in there, it'll try and fill that into the second area here, the bottom image on custom objects and TTS, or if you're using a custom model, it'll put it into the normal bump map section. And apart from that, it works exactly like the previous one. There is a slight little adjustment, is that I've made it so it'll rephrase Dropbox and Google links. I'm not going to make it like phrase tons of other things. I just do them because they're the ones I use, and this is my mod, so there. But it will work with Imager and any URL, okay? But if you put in a Google link or you put in a Dropbox link, it'll format it correctly so you don't have to do any search and replace. So let's just do a little test. For starters, let's make a simple rule book, okay? So let's get a token, and this has a single image, and then I'll go to my, if I can find my browser, I go to my mod area. Let's go, say, into, well, how about Alien Frontiers? I'll go into my rules, and I have all my rule books. Okay, so the first thing I want to do is, okay, well, these are actually set up as cards, so it's going to look a little weird, but you get the idea. This method that I'm using won't work on cards. You'll still have to make cards normally. Okay, so I stick my thing in, and you'll see that, see how it says sharing when you just copy for thing? It won't import because that's an error. So I use this little website here called direct link generator or whatever. So you just paste it in there, copy, and you'll get the proper links. Okay, so now that I've got that, it'll import it in, and I can scale it up and set it to whatever I'd like. Okay, then I'm just going to go into here. I'm going to copy the entire lot, and I'm just going to go share, copy, and I'm just going to paste them without phrasing them directly into here. And now I just drop it on the tool. It recognizes it as a token, and then I just hit clone from URLs, blam, and they go straight into the bag nice and neatly. So now if I bring them all out, you can see that everything has basically done its deal. Okay, now that was a token, which, that was a token, beg your pardon, which only has one URL. But what if we wanted to do multiple URLs? So this time, it just recognizes when something's removed. This time we're going to do a tile. So let's get a tile. Okay, I'm going to set it to box, and we go back to my files. We'll just grab some random files. Let's go to Mage Knight. Let's go to enemies, and let's go to green. Also, we'll get these green guys. and we go copy. Oh, actually, we've got to make the default one first. So we'll just right click that, share, copy, and then I'll just go bam, and I'll go bam. Except that won't work, remember, because I need to rephrase it, which my mod now does. And I want a bottom link as well, so let's go dragons. Copy, phrase, bam. Okay, so now I've done a double-sided thing here. So I can set this to whatever size I want. I can give it a tint to get rid of those white edges, and it's ready to go. So now what I want to do is set it so it has all the other stuff. So I want all these to be on the back. So I'm just going to go copy, and I'm going to paste it into this side here. And I'm also going to go copy and paste it into here. Now this will not actually work. So if I try and do this, recognizes it the tile, I go clone, it goes whoops, my lists aren't the same length. So the lists, if you're doing like this, you know, using two images, the lists have to be the same length or they won't work, and they need to be in the same thing. So if you're using, you know, really complicated stuff, like whatever's in position 3 is going to be matched with position 3 from the other list, so they have to be ordered, right? So if I just copy this, paste this into a text file. That's 13 lines, right? So this one here is 22 lines. So to get it to work, I'd need to have them exactly the same. So I'll just copy 13 lines. Now normally if you're doing yourself, you won't have it. I just wanted to show you that it'll recognize that. So now I can go bam, and they're all, you know, it's all done basically, and they're all different. And that's pretty much how that works. Now it should be noted that when you are, most of the TTS objects, right, if you actually only put one thing in like that, it'll have the same image on both sides. Okay, so if you make your, if you've made your, you know, custom tile like that that can take two images, or if you're doing a custom object that doesn't have a normal map, all you need to do is just make sure there's nothing in the second list. When you delete the list, it just defaults to type here. You can't get rid of that. Don't worry about that. So now if I do this, bam, you can see that they're all different and they're all correct. And if you right click on them, they will not have two images, which is the way you're supposed to do it. So let's have a quick look at objects. So say I create an object, what I might do, and this works with everything. So like if I made a whole bunch of dice, you know, I need at least one image. So if I made a whole bunch of dice, you know, bam, that'll make a whole bunch of dice. So let's have a quick look at custom objects though. So if I make a custom object, what I might do is take, you know what I might do, just to make it visually appealing, I'll do, where is it? So I'll just load up a die from my Alien Frontiers mod. Somewhere in here. Okay. So this is a die, but it's made with, well, it's made with a custom object. So the thing recognizes that. It says custom object die, but if that other die that we used, so if it'll recognize it as a TTS object die. So if I put that on, it goes TTS object die. The difference is this one has access to all the custom model materials and stuff, and this one doesn't. Okay. So I'll just put this die here. I'll come straight into my mod. I'll grab my die textures, share, copy links, stick them in here, and I'll just go blam, and now I have all my different colored round edged dice that I've made. Now remember, it's a clone, so whatever you set up the first one, the other ones are going to be exactly the same. But say you wanted to do a diffuse map. Okay, so let's bring in an object. Bam. What I'll do is, going back to my archive here, let's go back to Mage Knight, let's go back to enemies. I'll take my standard circle that I use in a lot of my mods. That won't work, remember, because it's got to be generated. I'll put that in here. I'll put it in the collider as well. I'll make it cardboard, and I'll make it a chip. And I will also then take a default graphic for it. So I'll just set that up like so. Oops, pasted that in properly. There we go. Okay, so I've just made a custom object, right? Very, very simple. Let's get rid of that. Very, very simple object. Now, I'll stick that in here. It recognizes it as a custom object. It recognizes it as a chip. You know, it can be flipped or whatever. And then I might just set it to a generic. Well, I'll set it to a chip. So I set it to a chip, right? So if I go, they'll stack up, right? So now I can go and, for starters, I can do this. Get all the links. Paste it directly in here, and I can go clone, and we'll get all the different chips. And they won't stack because they've got different images, right? But they use all the same parameters. But we can actually do it a little bit better than that. So let me just get everything out of this bag. say I want to add a whatever map, a normal map. So I've got like a temporary normal map in my temp folder here. Here it is here. I'll just copy that with the Dropbox link. Now we know, so if I put anything in here, I'll put this in here. This won't work because, whoops, the lines aren't the same length. So I need to make sure these are the same length. It's 22. So let's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Notice that this hasn't got the formatted URL. To use these in Tabletop Simulator, they need to be -1, but the model fixed that for us, so we don't have to worry about it. Copy. Got to be, just make sure you click on the actual correct area. And now, if I go clone from URLs, ooh, I've got to reset the tool and then go blam. It's done it, but it's also, you can see that it's placed the normal map. You can see how it's all crinkled up looking. That's because it's using that normal map. So if I change that normal map to something else, I think I've probably got another temporary normal map somewhere. Maybe. Maybe not. So if I just go normal map, here let's get this face. Oh, let's get this little face. So I'll just save that. I mean, you'd make your own maps, obviously, but this is just a demo. Come in here, go to temp. Find my little face, copy. I need 22 of these, right? So it's bam, 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 bam. And blam. Okay, so something popped up then because it had to actually load the thing in, but now that when I pull it out, well, you can see it there. The normal map is working. It's just because it's not designed for this image, it looks a bit weird. And that's pretty much it. That is the new tool. So once you've got all your stuff, you can just you've got this bag. It's all just sitting in this bag, right? So you can have a look at them. You can just right click and go save object, save it into your thingos, and then bring it into whatever mods you're working on. And that is the new tool. So there is a lot of permutations, like because you've got all the different types of objects except asset bundle, right? And then the models themselves have all these different objects. So I've tested it pretty thoroughly, but there could be a couple of problems. Just make sure you let me know. What you need to take away from this is that you paste your URLs into this area here for image 1 or diffuse. Then if you're not using a secondary image, just make sure that is deleted. Otherwise, you need to paste the other one into there, and it has to be the same length. And that, my friends, is the end of the mass token import tool. I hope you like it. See you guys next time.